Saturday morning. The smell of fresh sawdust fills your garage. Your table saw hums faintly as you place a board on the bench, trying to align it with a plan you downloaded last week. You measure twice, cut once, and yet the joint doesn't fit. The board rocks in the clamps, and a small piece of wood splinters under pressure. You sit back, hands on your knees, and exhale, staring at the growing pile of wasted lumber. That's the moment every woodworker has felt, halfway through a project, convinced it's your fault. And yet, what if it wasn't your skills failing you? What if the real problem had nothing to do with your ability to measure, cut, or assemble? What if the answer to finishing your projects had been overlooked for years? Most people in your position assume the problem is their skill, or the tools they own. But that's rarely the case. After decades of teaching and observing thousands of hobbyists and professionals, the biggest obstacle is something less obvious: incomplete, untested, or misleading woodworking plans. I call it the plan gap. It's not a theory, it's measurable. Plans that look complete on paper often skip critical steps, assume access to expensive tools, or provide materials lists that don't match reality. Over time, these gaps cause wasted lumber, lost weekends, and projects abandoned mid-build. For more than 25 years, I've seen it repeatedly. Talented woodworkers paralyzed by plans that promise clarity but deliver confusion. The villain isn't you. It's the system that sells plans without verification, leaving countless projects to fail before they even begin. Scenario 1. The dining table disaster. You found a plan online for the perfect dining table. Measurements seemed precise. You bought all the lumber listed, cleared a weekend, and started cutting. By step 4, the side panels didn't align. The top boards had gaps. You remeasured, double-checked angles, and realized a critical joint dimension in the plan was off. The $120 of wood you bought now looks like kindling. Your internal monologue, "I must be doing something wrong." You blame yourself, but in truth, the plan skipped steps, leaving you guessing. Scenario 2. The workshop workbench gone wrong. Next, you attempted a workbench to organize your garage tools. The plan promised simplicity. You followed diagrams, but halfway through, the materials list conflicted with the drawings. Shelves didn't fit. Screws were missing from the list. Hours turned into days of adjustments. Emotionally, the cost was heavier than the lumber. Frustration crept in, and your motivation dropped. You tell yourself, "Maybe I'm not ready for this." But the reality? The plan lacked the detail necessary to succeed. Scenario 3. The outdoor bench letdown. Finally, a weekend project for the garden. Photos in the plan looked professional. You assembled parts carefully, only to discover that a critical dimension in the diagram didn't account for actual lumber sizes. A miscalculated tenon forced you back to the store. By Sunday evening, the bench sat incomplete. You feel incompetent. Your neighbor asks about your progress. Shame mixes with guilt. And again, the blame falls on you, when in fact, the instructions were the real problem. Pattern reveal. And here's what all three of these situations have in common: incomplete, untested, or inaccurate plans. Every project failed for the same reason. Not your skills, not your dedication. The missing piece is consistent, detailed, and verified instructions that match reality. Micro-curiosity hooks. Have you ever wondered why some plans work flawlessly while others fail catastrophically? What nobody tells you is that even expensive plans can have critical errors you'll only notice mid-build. The part that surprised me most was how easily these gaps go unnoticed until materials are wasted. After enough failed builds, I started asking a different question. What would it take for a plan to succeed the first time, every time? The discovery was clear. A reliable resource must be built first, then documented. Every measurement verified, every joint tested, every step written from actual construction experience. Using this approach, the same three scenarios play out differently. The dining table assembles seamlessly because every panel and joint was pre-tested. The lumber matches the diagram exactly. The workshop workbench fits perfectly in your garage. Every screw and shelf aligns because the plan was followed in real conditions before release. The outdoor bench is complete in a weekend. Accurate dimensions, validated cuts, and materials lists mean no extra trips to the store. A single case study illustrates this. A hobbyist, brand new to woodworking, built a shaker end table using verified plans. The result? A complete table with clean joints, finished in 3 focused sessions. No guesswork, no wasted wood. This approach doesn't require theory or assumptions. It's a library of verified plans, step-by-step instructions, material lists, and diagrams, all tested in real workshops. The clarity and accuracy allow even beginners to finish projects confidently. You might be thinking, I don't have a big shop or expensive tools. Will it still work for me? Yes. One student with only a 7-gate garage built a corner cabinet flawlessly. Another, with minimal experience, assembled a storage bench with exact dimensions using only basic clamps and a circular saw. Why does it work? Because these plans are built in small, realistic spaces with standard tools. Each step validated, diagrams verified, and measurements double-checked. The core principle is simple. Verified instructions, tested builds, realistic resources. That's why it works, for beginners and experienced woodworkers alike, regardless of space, skill, or tools. Imagine the next 6 months. You continue using random plans from magazines or free PDFs. Projects start, stall, and pile up unfinished. Lumber is wasted. Weekends are lost. Your garage fills with half-built furniture. Now imagine taking a single step toward verified, accurate plans. Each project follows tested instructions. Each build succeeds. Confidence grows. Your time and money are respected. Progress becomes consistent, measurable, and satisfying. You've already done the hard part: learning, measuring, and attempting builds. The plans simply haven't kept up with your effort, until now. Your past attempts are proof of your dedication, not incompetence. Each failure shows that you care about quality and precision. Looking forward, finishing projects is a natural step, not an impossible task. Verified plans create predictable, accurate results. If you want to see what I use for every build, I left the link in the description. And if you found this perspective helpful, consider subscribing, leaving a comment, or sharing your experience with unfinished projects. Understanding the real challenge is the first step toward completing more builds successfully.